Ahoy there! Hi, how you doing? Today we are commandeering this vessel as Captain Gamertron is suffering through a rather hideous rabid beaver attack. It's quite common for his neck of the woods, but still will take some time to heal. His local witch doctor suggested the best medicine was to tell all his viewers to watch his previous videos and share them with your friends. If he ends up dying to an infection, I don't want to say it's your fault, but it'd totally be your fault. Before going on a shore leave, he did request we take a gander at the recently released Fallout 4 and give our general opinion on it with relation to Fallout 3. In true pirate fashion, I'm gonna assume it was more of a guideline than a rule, but we'll see what the voices can cook up today. Before the game even starts, I did want to mention, at least for PC gamers out there who waited in line at about midnight to get their physical copy, might not have known it then, but you were in for a bad time. That physical copy amounts to nothing more than what Konami did with Metal Gear Solid 5. You put in the disc, are prompted to attach the game to your Steam account with 0 other options, and after a short installation, are treated to a 24 gig download. Folks in Australia had to wait over 18 hours to actually play a game they physically bought just to avoid the shenanigans. But that was worth waiting out in the cold for. Your hands turning into claws as you clutch onto your receipt, making idle chit-chat with some random dudes you have never and likely will never see again. Totally didn't waste our time there. So thanks for that, Bethesda. Really appreciate it. Not bitter at all. While not as bad as what other companies like Ubisoft or whatever happened during Arkham Knight's release, there are some screwy oddities for PC players. You cannot actually change much in terms of graphic settings unless you do it before you launch the game. The controls are kind of janky and awkwardly placed. It doesn't scream console port, but let's say it definitely favors a pair of hands holding a controller instead of a mouse and keyboard. Some folks have been up in arms that Fallout 4 is far more colorful than Fallout 3. I personally don't see this as a problem. Back then, Fallout was one of the games leading this charge, and due to its popularity, the bleak brown and darker brown color schemes have almost stuck to this day. Hopefully this will set the new standard of art design, and future games will remember to add some Prussian blues and cadmium yellows. And for any loose connections some still pent-up fans of Diablo might make here between D3 being more colorful than D2, rest assured Fallout 4 is actually a decent game and doesn't need to use an auction house as a scapegoat for all its many problems that required you to buy an expansion pack on top of your initial game purchase to fix for them. Still not bitter. The gameplay feels like it's in a good spot. Off-the-hip gunplay is smooth and fast. Movement's a lot less herky-jerky than Skyrim, for example. And while there are minor issues and hangs, this is a Bethesda game just days after launch, so we can hope they'll eventually be patched out. And when they aren't, someone else will have modded it out for them. You might be forced to play as a jiggle physics-enabled cat girl to access it, but this is the internet, folks. It's par of the course. The VAT system is changed in a fairly large way. No longer will time completely stop during it, only slowing down to just over a crawl. At first I was against this, as my initial playthrough of Fallout 3 was on an extremely dated rig, and I could only clear areas thanks to the VAT system and playing strategically as the lag was horrendous outside of it. Ever wonder who would shoot at limbs instead of head or body shots? This guy, Mr. 4 frames per second while clearing an instance over here. That was with the settings all turned down too. Nothing more invigorating than sprinting across a completely black landscape full of potholes and things you can't see due to busted lighting settings, and seeing enemy markers light up all around you and they start to snarl at your heels. That'll put some hair on your vault suit. One caveat to this VATS change I wanted to mention was because enemies still move, that means their target areas and hitboxes are also moving. Flying enemies in particular undulate so bloody much it makes VATS frustrating to use, so you might be better off just hip firing these guys down and sparing yourself another hole in the wall. Leveling up is completely different this time around, and it verges on the paralysis by analysis side of things. They don't really explain it in game, but skills and perks of Fallout 3 have been merged into one. Level up points are now spent by unlocking or upgrading these perks, or even special itself. Another mind-blowing detail being the perks are tiered, implying level requirements, but actually they are only initially tied to the special stat above them. Level 1 with max strength? Go ahead and put a point in any strength skill you like. The level system comes into play when you wish to upgrade those unlocked perks. While the first one you can get right away, the second one is locked off until you are this leet to pwn. Something I am sorely and disappointingly not accustomed to is this sense of overwhelming content. Everywhere you go, there's things to do, places to loot, stories to read, random firefights breaking out, you can hear the sounds of gunfire echoing in the distance. Is this an upgrade or a side grade? Should I just scrap this one or remake it into something else? There's the in-depth weapon customization. customization, armor customization, brand new emphasis on power armor, and even base growing, maintenance, and defense. While the Fallout Shelter mobile game was heavy on the mobile and light on the game, which kind of goes without saying for a mobile game, it takes some elements from that. All these require resources you get from looting enemies and bases outside your sanctuary, thus the items you loot while hoarding can be used to fuel all these mechanics, and there's a heck of a lot more I haven't touched or even know about. The soundtrack is extremely well done, not even talking the radio music. We content creators don't want to get dinged by that monster, so we can't really listen to that. Speaking of monsters, feral ghouls are freaking terrifying, and I cannot wait to get the missus' first reaction to running into those at night. I'm hoping for at least a 7 on the Shriek-O-meter, but if not, I could always show her what Overkill did with Payday 2 and microtransactions and splice that audio right in. By simply experiencing the game and reacting to what it provides, we learn as we go and figure out our own path. Turn on the game, turn off your brain, and when the sun snaps you back to reality, know you've barely scratched the surface. That's a mark of a good game to me. Might not be great, too early to call, but I know I've been enjoying nearly every minute I've been playing it. On behalf of the Gamertron Show, thank you all for tuning in. I believe this is the part where I have to say the words comment, like, share, and subscribe like 20 times rapid fire. But I just spent all day trying to mail this by carrier chipmunk to Mr. Tron, so if y'all could just leave a comment below for me, just leave a comment with your comment on a comment and share with Mr. Tron's other subscribers how much you like his videos. Do you share the videos that you like with other subscribers to hear their comments? Or do you subscribe to comments on sharing their videos that you like? Do you like subscribing? Share your thoughts in a comment below, and I'm sure Mr. Tron would like to read them all. Until next time, Legion, or viewers, take care.